Hi, welcome back to the channel. That's another full auto tip. This one may be known by a lot of you, but what the heck, I'll put it out there. Mg42 Bolt. When I got my first Mg42 part set, it was a German part set. And if you look at this bolt, you can see it's in the unlocked position. The rollers are out. Actually, that would be the locked in the receiver, not unlocked. But I call it unlocked because it takes the pressure off the back of the bolt. It doesn't move that much, and that's what this video is about. It's about the Mg42 lock, or as I like to call it, the Hugo lock. When I got my first German part set, the bolts came to me like this. Let's see if I can get this in here and get this done right. The bolt came to me like that in the German part set. We put the gun. We built a gun, a post sample, and the guy that built it, it ran really, really fast. And I did some reading, and during the war, the Germans came out with something they called a bolt lock. And after the war, the Yugos specialized in what I call the Yugo lock, because every Yugo parts gun I bought since then has it in it. And that's this little piece right here. If you have an Mg42, a transferable, post sample, pre-sample, you should always make sure that this part is in your gun. And what this does is, this is your firing pin locking wedge, which drives your, when it comes forward, it drives the rollers out, locking it into the receiver, also pushing the firing pin forward to fire the gun. Now on the German, when it was in the German setup, this was done strictly on inertia, and the gun ran fine. However, the gun was subject to bolt bounce, which means it would go in, lock, and then start to unlock at the same time it was firing. So they came out with this. Now what this does in practicality is sit in here, and when I push this together, it's very difficult to lock when you've got the rollers in. Now that it's together with what I'll call it the Yugo lock in place, there's constant spring pressure on the back of the wedge. So when it goes in and opens, now there's pressure to keep it from jumping back out of lock, causing bolt bounce, which leads to a slightly out of battery firing. The advantage is way safer. You're going to save your gun. You're not going to damage your gun. You're not going to damage your face. The disadvantage in some circles is it does slow the gun down dramatically. It'll slow, well, not dramatically, but maybe 10%, from maybe 1100 to 1000, 950, depending on the ammo. But let's be realistic. What's a transferable Mg42 worth? 40 grand. Would you rather shoot at 950 rounds a minute and not damage your gun, or shoot at 1100 rounds a minute and risk damaging your gun? This is the extractor. I'm sorry, the ejector bar right here from the bolt. The lock fits in it like this. Fits on here. Simple thing. But you will find if you buy part set bolts, a lot of people have taken these parts out of them and sell them separately for anywhere from $15 to $25. So if you have a 42, obviously you're going to have spare parts. You should have spare parts, multiple bolts, multiple barrels. You should have these in all your spare bolts. It's just, I won't even bother rotating these. If you're going to assemble your bolts or keep them as spares, just make sure it has one of these in it. Save yourself a lot of money. Save yourself, keep yourself safer. And look, you learned some useless gun knowledge here today on Full Auto Tips. Thanks for coming to the channel.